Very kind of exclusive and expensive model from Mercedes-Benz. Maybe it's just an error on the window sticker, who knows? That's why we say we wish cars could talk here at DC MotorWerks. This is just when Mercedes build quality was bar none. Just a super nice example to be, this is a 94, so it's 31 years old now. Hey everyone, and welcome back to DC MotorWerks. My name is Cameron, and we appreciate you joining us today because we are going to share with you one of the great Mercedes of the 90s. This is what's known as an A124 or an E-Class Cabriolet. So the 124 is probably the best E-Class of all time. If you ask me, someone I'm sure will say something different, but it is the best. So, and this is a facelift model. So they only made the A124, which is the Cabriolet variant, like I said, for 3 model years, and only 2 model years with the facelift, 94 and 95. So they were a very low production and a very kind of exclusive and expensive model from Mercedes-Benz. We'll look at the window sticker here in a moment, but these were typically over $80,000 in 93 to 95 when they were sold. And this one is super special because it is in a very uncommon yet beautiful color. This is known as spruce green. The emerald green cars, which are a lot darker, are more common, but I kind of looked for ones that were similar to this, and I only found like 2 or 3 that recently popped up for sale. So a very uncommon color, and I think it is absolutely beautiful because it kind of has like a silvery sheen to it with the metallic, and again, just beautiful. And of course it has the Bruno panels, as we call them, from Bruno Sacco, the designer of this era of Mercedes. So you get the lower cladding with the contrast color, which on this one actually sports its original kind of eggshell satin finish. A lot of times they get painted or polished in the gloss like the rest of the car, but this one's proper. And part of that is because it just has 71,000 miles. So this one is original down to its original 16-inch 8-hole wheels with some fairly new Michelin tires. I think they're like 2021 date codes, so just a few years old. And that is owing to this one just having 71,000 original miles, which and that's kind of true to a lot of these, is that a lot of them have lower miles because they were very special and sparsely used vehicles. But you come around and the paint is in just absolutely beautiful condition. Of course, we've had it fully detailed and polished and coated and everything ready to go for its next owner. Around back, of course, we've got our license plate there. Like I said, just super all original. Even the antenna grommet is in good shape. It's got one little split going there, but still looks good. While we're back here, we'll take a look at the everything back here, which sorry, has been strewn around by driving this car. But we've got all kinds of service records. Those are just some floor mats to keep it nice. And some original touch-up from, gosh, I don't know how old this is, but let's see if we can find a date code. Oh, look at that. It was when it was like pretty much new. So maybe a year after it was bought. 249 malachite metallic, which is what it was called in Europe, but in US literature they called it spruce green for whatever reason, but they did. Got our original toolkit and your books and everything, which are super complete on this car, which is always a nice thing to see. Got your radio card, even an extra spare key hanging out in there. And it even has its ID card for its CD changer, which is living in there. It's got the, oh yeah, it does have the integrated phone on this one. You got all your books and everything. I was trying to see. Yep, the service book on this one is even filled out pretty extensively. So you can see it's even next service at 75,000, which is, so you got all the original stuff in here. I can't fan through it like I want to, but there's the original owner, Miss Catherine Stun, I don't know. Can't quite tell what that says. And it has been Southern owned its whole life. It was like Tennessee and then like the Carolinas and Georgia its entire life. So no rust to worry about on this one. This one has also had its top hydraulics done. I don't see when they actually dated them, but here's their receipt from buying all of their top hydraulics. So nothing to worry about there. The top works great. And also, wiring harness has been replaced, which is a big deal in 94, 95 cars. If you didn't know that Mercedes used a biodegradable wiring harness coating and it flaked and caused shorts and all kind of stuff, but that one has been done. 94, last handmade. They had a handwritten note on there. Cool little things to see there. I don't know why they have a Germany phone number on there. Who knows what they were doing there, but fun stuff nonetheless. And while we don't have the original window sticker, we do have this copy of it. And you can see it was originally shipped to Tennessee, which makes perfect sense based on the history. And here you can see in the US literature, spruce green metallic with parchment leather. It has the value added package, so it has ASR, which is the slip control or traction control, and then heated front seats. But a weird anomaly on this one is that the data card originally shows dark blue soft top. And that would look kind of strange on a green car. And you can see someone crossed it out and put black. So comment down below, let us know what you think happened, if the original person that ordered it saw it show up and said, yeah, that's not gonna fly. Or maybe the dealer got it as an inventory car and said, yeah, we're never gonna sell that, and they swapped it out. So maybe it's just an error on the window sticker, who knows? But since we're here, you can see it is a original Mercedes glass there on the soft top. And the soft top is in wonderful condition. I wanna say it's maybe been replaced, but or it's just in really nice shape. Because usually the stitching will start to go like a grayish white. And this is still pretty dark, so who knows? That's why we say we wish cars could talk here at DC MotorWerks. But again, down the side, not a ding or anything to be noted of. Any little ding that we saw, we had PDR'd, and all the wheels are in great shape, no curb rash or anything, which is a nice thing of smaller sized wheels, is that you have more sidewall if you do happen to brush a curb or something like that. Let's go ahead and show you under the hood, and then we'll get to that beautiful interior. And I will note, one of my favorite things on 124s and servicing these is the hood release isn't buried up under the dash. You can just come right in and pop it right there. So around front, before I pop the hood, I will note, that this is the facelift model with the one-piece updated headlights. So no sealed beams, old school stuff on this one, so you can actually see at night with one of these. And there is the M104 straight six. So these were the last of the straight six cars until it was reintroduced a couple years ago, but the last of the original old school straight sixes. And this one's in great shape. We just recently did valve cover gasket, spark plug tube seals, wires, coils. Also found on the service history that it had a cylinder head done when it was fairly new, which is kind of a common thing on these, is that they'll leak oil. They don't really fail in a meaningful way. But we've also got a couple-year-old battery in there, and we also put in a new fan clutch, amongst other things, just kind of anything it needed. And you can see just how nice. This is the original Cosmoline coating, which was the anti-corrosion inhibitor that was put on from the factory. And a lot of them got washed off. They actually had Cosmoline car washes back in the day to rinse all that off, but this one has retained a lot of it, and everything just looks super nice and tidy under here. And with that said, let's go ahead and start it up. So there you go, the M104 straight six. So this is the dual overhead cam variant, and the 3.2 liter. It makes about 228 horsepower, which was a big improvement from the earlier single overhead cam M103 six cylinder, which I think was 190 horsepower if I remember right. Might have been 170, but 170 to 190. So plenty of power for this car, because this is really just a cruise weekend car, which you'll see hopefully when we get out on the test drive. Hopefully it comes through camera just how much of a pleasant cruising experience these cars are. So before we take off, and while the AC is cooling down the interior on this very hot 90-degree North Georgia day, we'll go ahead and show you the soft top in operation. So on a 124 cab, the front latches are actually manual. So all of the hydraulics are in the rear, which is nice for servicing, and that when they, leak like on a 129, they don't leak all over your interior. But you just pop open both your handles there, and you actually have to push the top up into that position, and then you just pull your normal button. Windows go down, and it starts doing its thing. And once it is stowed, windows will go up, and you can close your front latches. And that is done. And then to go back up, of course, it is just the opposite, but we will watch it anyhow. And now we are ready to go for a drive. So here we are coming into our very beautiful parchment interior. These 124 coupes and cabs had some of the best seats of the time period. They are beautiful and super comfortable. And I think the green over cream is just a beautiful combination. But go ahead and jump in and we'll go for a ride. I'll go ahead and tone down the air, even though it is quite hot today. But for everything for the video, but everything in here is in very nice shape, just like the exterior. We have a beautiful wood trim that is not faded or anything. You got a couple little small cracks in the clear coat right here and right here, but for something of this age, looks great. It is original down to the radio there, which I am quite happy about because I'm not a big fan of aftermarket radios. Here you can see 71,459 miles on this spruce green beauty. And dash and everything is in great shape. This is just when Mercedes build quality was bar none. Even there, look on the shifter, there's still nice graining and everything there, not worn out. Oh, and there's our sweet phone, which is actually lit up. This is pretty typical from what I see as the rubber coating comes apart. Unfortunately, these are analog signals, so now that everything's digital, you can't really get service on these, but if anyone comes up with that, please let me know, because I would like to talk on my car phone. I feel like that would be a lot of fun. So one thing I will note while we're kind of stationary and looking behind us is that, so this was the kind of the alternative to the 129 SL. That is my pride and joy, but these actually have back seats, and they're actually somewhat useful if you have small children like myself. They are great for that, or small, short trips. But, and also you've got your party piece here, which is what we call our tombstones in the service industry back there. This is actually your rollover bar, but on the 124 cabs and on the 208 CLK, which came after this, we like to call them tombstones because that's kind of what they look like when they're popped up. And it's a good possibility of what you're going to see if this thing does roll over, unfortunately. Of course, that is all working nicely. And we can pop this into drive and go for a ride. This is the .3 4-speed transmission, and this being in a 6-cylinder model like this actually starts in first gear, which is a very welcome thing, because the second gear start, while smooth, which is what they were going for, is because the first gear is super short, is not my thing. This one is equipped with heated seats like we saw on the window sticker earlier, which was actually pretty uncommon, but a nice thing to see. If you're going to do any cool weather driving, which you can also get a windscreen to go back there. It covers up the rear seats, but if you just plan to drive around you and someone else, it works great to minimize the wind buffeting when driving with the top down. So as I mentioned earlier, these are more of a weekend cruiser than a sports car like the SL, and you can tell that immediately by just how gently these just kind of waft along. And I will say the soft tops are a lot quieter on these than on the SLs, and I guess that's part of because it's the only option you get, whereas on the SL you can put a hard top on it. And there you can just listen to that straight six sing. I love how these pull at the top end of the rev range. We're cruising 70 and it's nice and quiet in here. Super smooth. It's just the way they, like I said, they just waft along. I will say on this particular transmission in this car has been set up very nicely as far as like the modulator pressure and the Bowden cable. So these are old school mechanical hydraulic transmissions, and you can make all those adjustments for shift firmness and well as shift points. And these ones are just spot on, you know, firm while not being jarring, and the transmission is responsive and does exactly what you want it to do. Of course, this being a 90s Mercedes product, you got the nice mono wiper there, which I've always wanted to put like a hand on the end of, so it looks like you're waving when you're got your wipers going, but I've yet to do that. You can see this one does have its original windshield. So just a super nice example to be, it's a 94, so it's 31 years old now. Even when you hit these cracks in the pavement and so forth, you can just tell how solid this car is. Like you don't even really feel it so much as you just hear the light thump. Nothing rattles, you know, it's just, again, that solid build quality of this era of Mercedes is what made this so desirable. And they, like I said, I have to look back at the window sticker to see what this thing was new, which we'll put up in here. It's a lot. I'm pretty sure it was over 80,000. So with that price, these were almost side by side by a you know, a low spec SL of the time period. And so really you just had to choose between the more cruiser 4-seater or the more sporty 2-seater. And these have shown to be very appreciated by their values, that they still hold a great value and are very desirable. There's only really 2 model years of the facelift cars, 94 and 95, which is the one you want. Whereas a 93 300 CE has different bumpers, headlights, and a few other things. So, and this one's a 94, being the same model year as me, so it's just as old as me. Still handles well. On those Michelin tires, it is really the perfect combination for this car. Smooth ride, quiet, and yet can still toss it around some mountain roads if you so desire. Here we'll pull off and go ahead and run it through a few gears for you and let you listen, like I said, to that wonderful straight 6 sing. And there you can hear about 4,500 RPM when it comes onto its second cam profile, because this does have variable cam timing. So there it is, our beautiful spruce green 1994 E320 Cabriolet. Like I said, the Mercedes designation is A124. A lot of people just blanketly call them W124s, but I know I've reiterated this in other videos, but W is actually the sedan variant, and then the V would be a long wheelbase variant, and then A is for a cabriolet, R for a roadster like R129, and then C for coupe. So that kind of gives you the rundown on how the Mercedes model designation works. But again, this one is currently for sale live on Bring a Trailer, no reserve, going to its new home. So if you are looking to get into these, it kind of hurts me to say, but vintage Mercedes, since this is the same age as me, that kind of hurts. But everyone is kind of appreciating these cars once again for, again, like I said, their solid build quality, you know, that bank vault thing that everyone talks about. And there's really just nothing like this you can get anymore. And this is your opportunity to do that. So bid early, bid often. Thank you again for watching with us. Like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. You won't miss anything we have here at DC. And we look forward to seeing you on the next video.